Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dennis. My name is Rochelle DiCrescenzo. I'm a physical therapist, and my practice is called The Healing Journey. And I specialize in a type of treatment called John Barnes myofascial release. So today I'm going to work, hopefully you guys can do this along with me. I'm going to show you a great stretch, myofascial stretch, to help open up your chest, your neck, your shoulders. I'm really not going to too much detail about fascia or myofascial release just because of the time constraints. And I've spoken to this group before about both of those topics. And if you go to my website, the Healing Journey, mfrpt.com, there's tons of information about fascia, about myofascial release, and there's also links to the past videos I've done for relaxed teams, which gives a lot of great information about this wonderful modality. If you haven't heard me speak before, I just will say very quickly that in our bodies, we have a fascial system. And a lot of people don't really know what the fascial system is or haven't heard of it. They know the muscular system, the skeletal system, the nervous system. But what holds all of those things together, what connects all of those things and really holds us together as a person is the fascial system. And it's a three-dimensional connective tissue web that connects all those other systems together. And that system, the fascial system, is meant to be a free floating web that moves and glides freely and allows the structures that it holds, your muscles, your blood vessels, your nerves, your bones, to do the jobs that they were meant to do. And when we have restrictions in that web, and restriction just means it tightens down. So instead of moving freely and gliding as it should, it tightens down over those pain sensitive structures. And, the fascial restrictions are missed oftentimes by Western medicine docs because it doesn't show up on standardized tests like X-rays, MRIs, and CAT scans, which are the most frequent tests that are done when you go in to a doctor and you say, I have X, Y, Z pain or whatever. So fascia doesn't show up on those, and a lot of times it's missed. And the fascial restrictions are really shown by feeling, when the therapist can feel or look at the person to kind of get an idea of where your restrictions are. So when I work with my patients in the office, it's a hands-on approach to what I do. The myofascial release is hands-on. And then I give people exercises and things, different stretches and things to work on and do at home that are very personalized to what is going on with them. Today, though, however, I'm going to give you a really simple stretch that, like I said, is going to open up the chest and the neck. Now, very often people will not come to me and complain of chest tightness or pain in the front of their neck. They'll complain very often of pain in the back of their neck and the tops of their shoulders and the back and their upper back and the back. And, it's not to me any coincidence that happens. We're in a, very tech world. We're on our phones all day. We're on our computers. We're driving. We're always very contracted in the front of our bodies. And because of that, if you think all this muscle, all this fascia, everything up front is contracted in, and I'm obviously exaggerating, but, our heads come forward, our shoulders come forward, whatever comes forward, and we get very tight up front. And because we're so tight up front and we can't expand, we get the pain in the back. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to put a timer on for 5 minutes, and I hope that you guys do this stretch with me. I had asked if you have a foam roller, a long foam roller that's about 3 feet wide and 6 or so inches, or 3 feet long, about 6 or so inches wide. That's great. If you don't have that in your home and you want to still do the stretch, you can just roll up some a really thick comforter or a bunch of blankets rolled up so that they kind of create that log, or a couple of pillows. And if you have none of those things and you still want to do a stretch with me, what I'd like everybody to do right now is just sit up nice and tall and expand your arms and pull and let your head drop back and just see where you feel tight. If you feel tightness in your arms, in your chest, in the front of your head, you can play around with your head position, drop it down, and just see where you feel tightness, maybe in the side of your head. So if you're not going to lay on the foam roller with me, then you can just find a position like this, or dropping your head over to one side or back a little bit, wherever you feel tension in your neck or your shoulder, and you can do it the stretch for the same amount of time. Okay, so I'm just gonna, let's see, but I'm gonna turn on my timer. I think I might lose video for just a second while I'm doing that. But I'm going to turn on a 5-minute timer because the key to a myofascial stretch is time. Nobody holds stretches for long enough. And to actually stretch things, fascia or especially fascia, but even the muscles, you have to hold the stretch for longer. So I already put the timer on. If you have a foam roller or a blanket or some pillows, I want you to come up on top of them. You're going to sit towards the end and then just gently bring your body back onto the pillows, onto the cushion, onto the roller, whatever you have. And again, if you don't have anything, you're not lying on your back, I just want you to find a position that you can move your head or your neck or your arms and feel a stretch. But if you're on your back, I want you to bring your arms to your side with your palms facing up. Okay, palms facing up is important. And I want everyone to just close your eyes, whether you're on your back or you're sitting. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to just really start feeling your body. Nobody takes time to really feel into their body. So just feel into your body. Where do you feel tight? And see if you could just start to soften a little bit. Do you notice any tension anywhere? And when you notice that tension, can you just start to let it soften just a bit? And if you're on your back or really in any position, whatever you chose, you don't have to stay in one position, okay? So as you start to soften and open up, if you're on your back, let's just use that because I prefer you to be in this position. Move your arms without lifting them, just slide them a little more out to the side, maybe in more of a little, like a T position, and see if you feel more of a stretch doing that. And then let's stay there for a couple of seconds and just breathe into it. Breathe into your tight spaces. And again, play around with your positioning. If you're on your back, you might want to bend your elbows. Still with your palms up and your arms resting down. But what does that do when you bend your elbows? What kind of stretch does that give you? What does that open you up even more? And again, I know this probably feels like a long time to hold a stretch for most people, but I want you to get the idea of what it feels like to actually feel into your body and open up your fascial system. So again, keep your eyes closed. It really just helps to allow you to feel and to turn off your thinking brain. Turn on the feeling side of your brain. And just let yourself sink into the stretch. Breathe into your tight spots. And allow your body to just start to open up. If you're on your back over a roller, again, play with your arm position. You may feel like one arm wants to really stretch up over your head. Maybe the other arm just wants to be out to the side. Anything is possible. Anything works. I'm going to come off the roller, but I want you guys to still stay on. I'm just going to talk you through it a little bit longer. And just, you want to, any time you're stretching, you feel into the stretch. And just as many people as there are in this world, billions of people, there's that many billion different fascial strains and fascial restrictions. So every body is very different. So I just want you guys to feel into your own body. And this is one of the keys to myofascial release, is that it's very individualized. It allows you to just feel into your own body. So just keep breathing, keep feeling into your stretch. And I saw that I have only about a minute left, which is fine. Okay, the timer is just about done. So that was about 5 minutes, guys. So if you're on a foam roller or on your back over pillows, I want you to gently roll to the side, come on up. And if you were just sitting, then you can just kind of come back up to a neutral position. And whatever you did to start, I asked you to just see how you felt initially, do that again. And see if you feel any different. Do you feel more open? Are you able to feel a little bit less pain in the front of your body? And just see how you feel later today too. This is a really simple exercise. You can do this obviously at home. You don't need a foam roller. It's great if you have one, but you don't need one. And you can do it over the pillows, over a blanket. And obviously you can just do it in your chair for a couple of minutes to take a break and open up your fascial system and give your posture some rest. So I think my time is up. And if anybody has any questions or any comments, I'd love to listen and hear them.
Yeah, I do. I was on my roller.
Good.
I cannot believe how much of a stretch I could feel having my arms out. I don't know. It's kind of scary to me. I'm thinking maybe that's means I'm, really tight, whatever. My fascia is not in good shape.
Well, it doesn't, I mean, listen, like I said, everybody, this is why I picked this particular stretch, because most people are tight in their chest. It's just, it's a result of our world, our technological world and phones and computers and sitting at our desks. Mm. So it's so important. If you just start opening yourself up every day, and again, we only did 5 minutes today. If you have time and you can do longer, and again, this is like an odd forum to do this in, but if you're by yourself and again, close your eyes, feel into your body and just start listening to your body. People go to doctors because they want answers from the doctors all the time. And yes, we need medicine, 100%. We need medicine sometimes, and especially in an emergency situation. But our bodies have an unbelievable ability to heal themselves when we quiet down and we listen. And we, as a society, we don't do that. We've been taught to ignore pain, shove it down with medication, with too much talking, too much drinking, too much exercise, too much of anything, doesn't matter what it is. And when you do that and you don't listen to your pain, you don't listen to your body, you're setting yourself up for disaster. So just that quieting down, closing your eyes, coming inward is going to tell you a lot. And it'll open you up to what other restrictions you might have or other tightnesses you might have in your body too.
Rochelle, I have one question. Yeah. So knowing that we all probably do the same thing, sit at our desks all day, what do you recommend? Like, should we be standing? Should we move a certain, in a certain amount of time, just get up and walk around? I mean, obviously all of those things are obvious we should be doing, but how should what's the best way to sit at our desk? Should the screen be above us?
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to be comfortable at your desk. I always recommend people try to get up at least once every hour. And just, that sounds like maybe some people, I could do that. But you get into your work and it goes an hour goes really quick. So if you put a timer on your phone and you just get up every hour, and even if it's, stretching over, pulling your arms, moving whatever you're going to do, walk around a little bit and then sit back down, it's going to give you a really great break from your work. And then if you have a longer amount of time, get on the ground, do some stretches, feel into your body. If you come up and you come over and you're like, oh, I'm really tight here. Well, maybe if you have some time, stay there a little bit, stay there and feel into it and stretch into it. We can talk a lot more about posture sitting. I don't want to take up more time, but, there are some specifics for sitting at the desk, but, just getting up, breaking up your day is really important, and putting on reminders, because you won't do it unless you start putting a reminder on to actually do it.
Very true. Thank you. Great presentation.